Welcome to Make and Decorate, a podcast for makers who love to sew, quilt, and decorate. Hello, everyone. This is episode 14 of the Make and Decorate podcast. Thanks for listening. And how is everyone this first week of December 2018? We're nearing the end of the year, and I just feel like as soon as fall hits, that time just goes into like a time warp. Like it just, the speed of light gets even faster. And all of a sudden, here we are in December. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I hope everyone's handmade gifts and whatever you guys are making and decorating this season is going very well. I'm really excited about today's episode. But before I get into that, I just want to say thank you for listening and for subscribing and for your ratings and reviews. I've got a couple of newer reviews, and these actually were posted in October. And I didn't even look on iTunes until recently. So I just wanted to say thank you to these couple of people that took the time to go ahead and, type in a review. The first one I've got here is from October 25th by Becca Love. And she said that Stephanie has had some interesting guests on so far. I am a new garment sewist with an interest in all things sewing, machines, and making. I'm looking forward to following this podcast and learning more. Thank you so much, Becca Love. I am really happy to hear that, and I'm looking forward to posting many more episodes on all things sewing. So enjoy, and thank you so much for taking the time. Also, Katie from Hobbies Up to Here posted a review. I enjoy listening to Stephanie and her thoughts, opinions, and experience with crafting. She brings in a whole new perspective with her design background, and I feel that her podcast only adds to the great community of crafters that we have. Thank you so much, Katie and Dory. They are the duo from the podcast Hobbies Up to Here. They were my very first Skype guest. And I'm really happy to join this community, and I just hope everyone is enjoying the show. And as always, you can always contact me for any suggestions, anything you're looking to hear or learn. Let me know. And then I want to read my very first review. This was when this person took the time and wrote the review the very first day my very first podcast episode launched. And she just gave me kind of an average star rating, which at first I was like, oh no, what did I do wrong? But she wrote a really positive review. I appreciate that. And this was by Dula Karen. And she said, I enjoyed hearing about your background and what drew you into becoming a maker. Looking forward to honest reviews of tools, pros and cons of the myriad sewing machines available today. So I did appreciate that review. And I really appreciate anyone who takes the time to rate and review the podcast. So thank you for that. And please, if you haven't done so already, please take the time if you have it and share, like, rate, review, and subscribe. So, all right. Today, I am really excited about this episode. I've got Irene from Sugaridoo on the show. And Irene is in the Netherlands. So we did a Skype call, and it went really well. We had a great conversation, and I just wanted to keep talking to her all day. I know. I get like that. But we had a great conversation, and I discovered her on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel. It's called Sugaridoo, and that is her business name as well. She is a pattern designer and a YouTube. She has a YouTube channel. She has self-published a book, collaborated with another pattern designer, and she knits, or she crochets, she quilts. I think she's started knitting as well, but she is a very talented maker. Just very positive, happy. That's even her kind of tagline is happy crafting. I love it. I get so happy when I watch her videos. She's a great teacher. And I want to try this type of crochet that she has been doing and making patterns for. She mentions it in the interview, but I just wanted to mention it ahead of time just so you can be aware and listen for it. But it's from the Japanese word amigurumi, and it means crochet or knitted stuffed toy. They're really cute, and she says that they're all made with a single stitch. So it's all a matter of increasing and decreasing. And I think that had I not seen her do this on her videos, that I would never think that I could even attempt to do this kind of craft. But I'm excited. I ordered some yarn from her. It's on its way, and I'm going to try it. So I'm excited about that. So let's get on with our conversation. Hi, Irene.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be talking to you right now.
Uh,
I discovered you on your YouTube channel.
oh wow, I'm super
Yeah.
excited to be here in your podcast show.
Oh, and I'm going to mention that Irina is halfway across the globe from me in the Netherlands.
Yes, it's
This is
true.
so amazing. I love it. I so love it. And that's why I love YouTube and podcasts, because you can listen and people can watch you from all across the world
Yes,
and interact with you. I'm sure you get tons of comments on your channel.
yes, it's amazing that you can connect with people from all over the world because you all share the same interests and have the same passions, and then you can just find people from all over the world. That's
Yeah, I love it. And so your YouTube channel is, and it's your business name too, Sugaridoo?
yes, yes, that's true.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And what I really love too is your tagline, happy crafting.
Yes,
It's
that's
so me. I like, we are such kindred spirits, and I love, like, your studio is beautiful with all the colors and the textures and everything. I
oh,
just
thank you
am
so much.
oh, it's like a candy shop. I love it.
Yeah, it's really my happy place. And that's also the happy
Hmm.
crafting for me. That's it's, crafting. I do that because it makes me happy, and I love teaching crafting on my YouTube channel because, yeah, we can make other people happy with it.
You do. I'm sure you do, because you make me happy, and you are a very good teacher
Oh,
in a
much.
very simple but clear way where I feel like I can do it, and I'm sure a lot of other people too.
I'm so happy that you say that because that's the point what I'm trying to get across that you just have to go and try it and don't have to be scared to try something new or do a new technique because it is my business, but I don't feel like a professional because I'm also trying new things and just going for it. And that's
Hmm.
what I hope people get out from my YouTube channel, that they get inspired to just try something and get the feeling that they can do it.
Yeah, you are. And you even show on some of your videos, like, oh, I tried this and didn't quite work out, so
Yeah.
I'm going to try this. And I love that because it just makes it more accessible to me. I feel like, she's like trying stuff. It's not like she's, you know, super uber, perfectionist.
No, no.
So that makes me feel so much better. And I want to know, like, how you do a lot of crafts, the crochet,
Mhm.
quilting,
Yeah,
knitting,
yeah.
sewing,
So
and
yes, I did cross stitching also. A
yes.
lot of
How did you learn, and when did you know that you just absolutely loved all of this and just had to keep doing it?
well, I can't really remember when about it because my mom taught me all of those crafts when I was very little, and
Oh,
she's a very creative person, and also my grandma is, so she learned it from my grandmother, and yeah, so we kind of always did it. So we did crafty afternoons, and yeah, so when I was very little, I learned a lot, and I always kept doing it, I guess. So, but for the most of my
yeah.
life, it was just a hobby. So I did it on the side, and I just went to study and got a job, and yeah, somehow it grew out into my business. But yeah,
So, so you didn't study specifically for this. This has just
no,
been with you since you know what? And I can sense that about you on your videos because it just comes second nature to you. Like your crocheting is just, I don't know, it just feels like it's just natural, and I can see
yeah,
that now. So you have been doing it since you were since you were little,
yeah,
and it's so cool that your mom taught you
yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Because
my mom taught me a lot of the basics, and for the
uh-huh.
rest, I'm pretty much self-taught. So I
Mhm.
also learned a lot from YouTube. So I know how valuable that is.
Yeah. Me too. I know. And so with your business, you design and sell patterns for quilts, quilt blocks, and crochet.
Yeah,
Um, and last year you had a book that came out, so cute.
hard
Um,
to Thanks.
with a pixel one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
it's called Once Upon a Pixel.
right. Once upon a pixel.
Yeah, and it's got all kinds of magical pixel patterns for cross
Hmm.
stitching and for quilting. I made it with a
Hmm.
friend of mine. She's from Studio Cuckoo, and she does cross stitching, and I do quilting. So we figured out that you can quilt cross stitch patterns, and also the other way around, you can cross stitch quilt patterns. So
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
yeah, so it into a book. So it has a lot of pixel patterns, and then we show throughout the book how you can use those patterns for either cross stitch or for quilting.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That is so cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love, yeah, I love that unicorn quilt. It's so cute.
yeah, yeah. I got a lot of I got a lot of comments on that one. Yeah, it's a very happy quilt.
Yeah, yeah, it's so cute. And other thing I think I noticed with your work is that you add a lot of character and personality to the characters that you create by adding like hand stitched touches for like their face, their eyes, their, you know, the mouths and everything. And that just adds so much more dimension. And it really, like, I just love it. For instance, your penguin
Yes,
pattern.
yeah.
You did that penguin in so many different ways. He had his little eyes closed and under a blanket and little snow hats on. I mean, I love it. It's so cool. But a lot of people are afraid to hand stitch, and it's
Mhm.
all you did was just a few little,
Yeah,
you know, things
I
on there.
I didn't even know what the official way to hand quilt was, but I just took some thread and a needle and went for it. Because it gives, like you said, it gives a lot of personality when you add those details, and then they really come to life. So
They do, yeah,
yeah, and I used a water erasable marker. So I first drew the eyes. Maybe I should do a YouTube video on that.
yeah,
It's really simple, but I drew the eyes with a water erasable marker, and then took some black thread, and then did some little stitches over it.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So cute.
pretty simple, but the effect is big. Yeah.
It is. And then, you know, you think to yourself, wow, I mean, like, why don't I think about that? But I mean, it's just, it's really cute. And your videos show you do, I, I don't crochet. Well, I learned how to crochet a little bit when I was a girl. My grandmother taught me, so I know like single and double
Yeah.
stitches, but I haven't done it in so many years.
Mm,
And I have never, no, that's not true. I have seen the crochet, like the little animals that you do, but not a lot. I mean, I feel like over here in the States there's not a ton of that everywhere.
Mm.
And I saw that on your channel, and then I watched your vlog on the shows, the craft shows you go to
Yeah,
in the Netherlands, and they are everywhere
they
at all the
are.
booths. I was just like, whoa,
Yeah, it
it's
feels like
so
everyone in the
cute.
Netherlands is doing. It's called amigurumi. Amigurumi is
Uh-huh.
Japanese, I believe, for crocheting in the round. So that's how you crochet this.
Oh,
And
okay.
so you only do the single crochet. You only need one stitch actually, and you do that in a round. So you can really do it.
I watched your one video. I will have to watch it like a million times, but um you do say you're very good at that though. It's like I where you say a single stitch and how you increase and
Yeah,
decrease,
true.
and it the camera work is really clear, so I do feel like I could probably try it.
Oh yeah, you're cute. Yeah, it's the one with the penguin, right? The crochet.
Yes,
Yeah.
the penguin.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So
but what you
cute.
say about craft fairs is it's true. In the Netherlands, it feels like everyone is crocheting amigurumi. It's really popular over here. And when you
Uh-huh.
look into neighbor countries like Germany and Belgium, there's not so much going on over there. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a hype in the Netherlands. Everyone wants to crochet and
Uh-huh.
and make those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I want people over here to see it. I want them to look. I'm going to put links to your website and your
Oh, that's
YouTube
great.
channel. And because people over here do like to make little plushy
Mm-hmm.
animals,
Yeah.
it's sewn
Oh,
out of
sewing. Yeah.
fabric.
Okay.
And it's a similar concept, only you're crocheting the textile
Yeah.
versus sewing the fabric already made. So,
What kind of
yeah,
fabrics
and
do you use then? Do you make it out of cotton or plush fabric or?
so yeah, like a combination, but some people the plush is a like a little the faux furry,
Oh yeah, yeah.
fabric. That's a popular one. And fleece,
Oh yes,
people will
also
use
very soft.
fleece fabric and felt.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Uh-huh.
oh,
Yeah.
it's also very cute.
So, yeah, they're very cute. I mean, I've seen that kind of like had like a rise in popularity here maybe like a few years ago, and I still see a lot of people doing that. But those crochet animals are so cute because the texture and the
Hmm.
colors of the yarn, and you put the little eyes, and the same thing, the people who make the plushies use those same type of eyes
Yeah,
with the thing. Yeah, it's so cute.
yeah,
So
and the
I
moment,
don't know. I've got to try it. I have to.
yes, you should really try it. And the moment you put in those eyes, then the animal really comes to life. So it's kind
Yeah.
of funny when you have amigurumi with separate parts. So you finish the head with the eyes and everything and all the parts, and then it still needs assembling. But then already it's looking
Yeah.
at you because he has a face and expression and eyes. So
It's so cute. Yeah, because when you watch your video and you're doing this, when it's in the round, it's still like a 2D, almost flat
mhm.
um piece of, crochet
Yeah, so,
fabric.
yeah, yeah,
And then when you start decreasing, it starts to take shape.
yeah,
And then I could start seeing it come together. And then you were getting to then you said, okay, now it's time to stuff it. So you stuffed it with the polyfill.
yeah.
And then I'm like, well, how is she going to close that up where, none of that comes out, and then it was amazing. You didn't even have to knot the yarn. You
Oh,
just wove it in and out,
yeah.
with a larger. I mean, it was just like, wow, this is
Kind of magic, right?
amazing. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
magical. It's like not really.
and it's not even
It's
that complicated. No, and
yeah.
you weave in the end of the yarn, and you do
Uh-huh.
that to secure it. So within the polyfill, it's making kind of a knot, but you don't have to
Yeah.
knot it on the outside. Yeah,
Yeah, there's just no knots or no little nubs of thread after you know, like if I didn't watch that, I would just think that you just knot it off and then you have that little snip of a little
yeah,
stub that could possibly get like pulled on and like unraveled. But no, that's brilliant.
yeah. You can work upon
It's really nice. But that's kind of like what we do in quilting where you bury
it.
your
Yeah,
knots.
very. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's a similar concept.
yeah.
Yeah,
Then you
so
first
it's
make
really
a
cool.
knot, and then you pull it inside the quilt, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, So moving on to quilting, you have this really cute quilt. It's a what is it? They're all different kind of sampler.
Oh,
It's
Sugaridoo
a
sampler.
sampler quilt.
Yeah.
The little bicycle is so cute, and a lot of that is paper pieced,
Yeah,
right?
everything is paper pieced. Yeah.
Oh, it's all paper
Yeah,
pieced.
it's all paper.
Okay. It is so darling. It's so cute. I love the colors that you use. And I know I told you this in our emails because I just couldn't wait to talk about it, but I have never seen the technique that you do for you use the tea paper,
Mm-hmm.
tea bag paper,
Yes.
and it's really soft and a little, see-through,
Yeah.
and you can leave it in the quilt. You don't even have to
Yeah.
tear the paper
It's
off.
the
And
best.
yeah, so that one you can sew through.
Yes.
You could stitch on.
Yeah.
I like it because you show different techniques. You show freezer paper technique. You show a technique where you fold the paper back and you don't even stitch through the paper. I love
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because then you can reuse the template again.
Yeah, true. That's
And
true.
there's no ripping of the paper.
No, on both methods, there's no ripping of the paper. No, and both, I like them a lot, and I use them in two different situations. So when I do a sampler, so when I make a lot of different blocks, then I
Oh,
use.
sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
no
Go
problem.
ahead.
When I make a lot of different blocks in a quilt, then I use tea bag paper. So that's literally the paper tea bags are made out of. So it's
Yeah.
see-through, and you can make it wet in the washing machine, and it won't tear or how do you say that, crumble. So that's perfect. That's the reason why you can leave it behind the fabric. But when I'm making a quilt with a lot of the same blocks, then I'm using freezer paper because I just put the pattern on the freezer paper one time, and then I can use that paper multiple times to repeat the blocks. Because freezer paper gets a
Okay.
little sticky when you
Yeah.
make it hot, yes. And so when you are finished, like you said, you don't sew through the paper with that technique because you fold it away. So when
Hmm.
you're finished with a block, you just square it up, and then you peel away the freezer paper, and then you can use it again.
Yeah, and I feel like it takes away a little bit extra work from the method that I learned was that you cut this fabric piece that's so big because it has to cover not only the pattern piece with enough fabric around it for the 1/4 inch, but then a lot of overage because then when you attach the next fabric and you sew through the paper, then you cut the seam allowance.
Yeah,
With your method, you start with the seam allowance
yeah,
first.
yeah,
And yeah, it just seems easier. It
yeah.
seems like you take out a step.
Yeah, but I do add a step at the beginning of the process because some people learn
Mhm.
to just cut squares that are big enough for the pieces you use in foundation paper piecing, and then you have a lot of excess fabric that you need to cut away. But I
Right.
start with some paper templates, so I print my pattern 2 times. So one I'm going to sew on, and the other one I'm going to cut into tiny pieces, and I use those as templates. So I put those templates
Oh,
I put on the fabric, and then I cut roughly around it. So I don't measure out the seam allowance on there, but I cut roughly around it so that it has the shape already of the template piece. And then it's
right.
really easy to sew with. And it spares a little bit of your fabric.
It does.
Mhm.
Yeah. I noticed that. That was so cool. These are both techniques that I really haven't seen before. And I think, here in the States, like people either love foundation paper piecing or they hate it.
Yeah.
So, and part of it is the hate of it is the paper, like dealing with
Yes.
ripping all the paper off. So I feel like if they learn, they have to go see your video. And if
Yeah.
they learn how to avoid having to tear the paper off, they would just completely try it
Yeah.
and love it. I used to be that way. I used to just not like the foundation
Hmm.
paper piecing. First of all, too, it's when you have to get used to when you first start off, or it's backwards a little bit
Yes. Yes. You have to
than
get used to
regular
that.
piecing.
Yeah.
You have to get used to it, yeah. So and I love that little. You use it too. I saw you the little add a quarter
Yeah. I
ruler. I
cannot work
love
without
that.
it. Yeah.
No, not at all. No, so I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And talk about your studio a little bit. How do you use it? And is it a shop or is it just for you to make
Uh,
things that you design
Actually,
and sell?
it's pretty big, but actually it's just for me. Uh,
I love it.
yeah, yeah. The studio I have it now for a little bit over, almost for 2 years now, and I got it because I grew out of space in our house. I had our spare bedroom was my studio, and it wasn't that big, and I started selling crochet kits and yarn online, and then every space in the house was filled with boxes of yarn. So I had to move out of the house. And then I was searching for a studio space and I wanted something with a lot of light so I could take
Yeah.
pretty pictures. And then I came across this space and it was pretty big. But I thought, well, when I have it, I might go and give workshops or have people over. But in real life, I most of the times I'm just there by myself, and I love that it's so big because I can set up a project to film a video about. But in another corner of the studio, I can have a packing station, and
Hmm.
yeah, I use all of it. And of course, I've got my desktop to do pattern designing, and I love to do a little bit of everything every day. So I just leave everything, and yeah, that's perfect having such a big workplace. And
Yeah.
yeah, and once in a while, I do have people over. Like this Saturday, we have a crochet party, and
Ooh.
then we have a high tea. I don't know, is that something?
No, we don't do that. Well, I know all about it because I have some English in my
Oh,
heritage. So
oh yeah. So
I
it's
I learned
basically a
I
lot of
learned a little bit about high tea.
yeah, it's basically just a lot of tea and a lot of cakes and chocolate and good things.
Hmm.
So we have that, and everybody brings their own crochet project, and then we go crochet and have tea together, and that's really lovely. So we do have that once in a while, and if groups ask me, then I do give workshops. But yeah, I found out when I was working there that my main focus was designing patterns. That's the thing I love most. So yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing mostly there.
That's great. I kind of had a feeling of that, but I wasn't totally sure because where you have all of your yarns
Hmm.
set up in those beautiful white cases
Yeah.
that I see in your videos, I'm like, that sort of looks a little like a shop,
Uh-huh.
but then the rest of it to me does look like studio.
Yeah.
So I was really curious about that. And that is like a dream of mine. I'm sure it's a dream of a lot of people, but just to have a
Mhm.
studio
Yeah.
for you
Yeah.
to work and design. And so and I do notice all of that natural daylight you get
Yes.
is
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's perfect because too, well, that one wall you see with all the yarn, I bet
Hmm.
that is a little bit like my shop wall. That's very easy to pack orders and stuff, and
Hmm.
it's really inspirational because I can see all the material that I have, so I know what I can work with. And those two other walls in the room, they are all windows, so that's all natural
Wow.
lights from two sides. So that's just perfect.
Wow. Yeah, it is so nice.
Yeah.
And I love the colors that you have in there too. They're just very happy. And there's a lot of white with like pops of color
Uh-huh.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's
And
exactly what I
it's
love.
just so happy. That's why another reason why I love watching your videos because I know I'm going to see that beautiful studio and it's so pretty and all your cute blocks. And so that kind of like answers one of my other questions too because of how prolific you are with your patterns and um just your because you have a blog, you
I
have a
do.
website, you sell and ship products
Yeah,
that you
worldwide.
make and design. Yeah, you have an Etsy shop
Yeah, as well.
and and you do these craft fairs where you make a lot of product,
Yeah, but
like craft
on
made
the
things.
yeah, but on the craft fairs, I only
Uh-huh.
sell the kits. So I do bring all of
Okay.
my samples. So I do bring all of the toys. Everyone gets to go with me, but I only sell the kits. So people have to make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That's what I was like, how does she
Hmm.
do all this? Plus
No, that's
you have a little one
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Cuz when I first started watching your channel, you had just come back
Oh yes.
from having your baby. That's when I discovered you.
Oh, that's so cool.
And yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't make it a lot in the videos lately, but yeah, he's doing great. And
Oh,
yeah, yeah, no, I'm not making all the toys to sell them. That would be too
that's a
much time.
lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. No, yeah, most work I do is designing new patterns, and then of course I need to crochet them or quilt them. But for
Uh-huh.
my latest patterns, I also have a lot of test crocheters or quilters. So if anyone is interested in that, they can always contact me. Um, yeah, and that's really awesome because then you get pictures and feedback of people who make your patterns, and it gets getting
Uh-huh.
tested right away. So yeah, that's also really nice.
Oh, okay. So if someone wants to be a pattern tester for
Hmm.
you, crochet or quilting,
Yeah, that's
then they
always
can
welcome.
contact you.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll put that information on the show note links too.
that's great. Thanks.
And yeah, that's awesome. So and I you just finished a huge show. It was Criado? Is that how
Yeah,
you say that?
yeah, Creado. That's it.
Criado.
Yeah, do means doing. So and crea,
Oh,
it's just being creative. So
okay.
yeah, that's but then in
How
Dutch.
is that?
Yeah,
And I noticed you said it's 5 days, which
uh-huh.
is a long
It
time
was
for. Is that the normal length of
no,
a show?
no, it's the
Oh,
biggest
okay.
one in the Netherlands. Yeah, the
Okay.
smaller ones are always 2 or 3 days. Uh,
That's what ours are.
Yeah, and but then they are mostly about one craft. So then there are knitting shows or crochet shows or quilting shows. So then I just bring one of my things.
Mm-hmm.
And within Sugaridoo now I only do crochet and quilting. So I do the knitting as a hobby still, but
Mm-hmm.
only do the crochet and quilting. But this
Mm-hmm.
one was everything. So I brought my quilting and my crochet, and yeah, it was a combined craft fair. So it was huge and really long because you have one day of setting up everything, and then it was 5 days of craft fair. But it was amazing. I never did such a big craft show, but yeah, it was really, really amazing because you meet so many people. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's so inspiring to see how happy everybody gets from craft.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was really lovely.
That's true. I think you captured that on your vlog video too. I loved watching that, and I don't know. Seeing a craft show from like the Netherlands, you do get to see like some differences from what we get here, and I don't know. I feel like I even get even more inspiration because it's different, and um, it's really exciting, and um, do you have any help though? I mean,
Yes, yes,
are
I
you
do.
okay?
Yeah, that's a question which I got asked a lot because you cannot do that on your own. So,
No.
so my father-in-law helped me the whole day of setting up, and also my husband joined the next day in the morning to help a few more hours to set everything up, and they also helped taking everything down and bringing it back home. And then my mother came to help 4 days, and Angelique, a friend of mine who often comes to crochet in the studio, she offered to help 5 full days. So yeah, that's
Wow.
awesome. So you really need friends and family around who can help
Yeah.
you. Yeah, because having employees help you, that's a very big step. But I'm very
Hmm.
happy that I can do it with enthusiastic people who want to help me. Yeah,
Yeah, who love it as much as you do.
mhm,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
nice.
But it's interesting what you say that you see differences in craft fairs. What would you say in the US that's different in?
Well, I you when I first saw the video, I thought, wow, they combined the crochet with the quilting, which we don't. But then you just said your normal shows are specific
Yeah,
to the craft, which ours tend to be too. Like we have quilt expos or quilt festivals, and it's all about quilting. And then we have there's not as many, but there's a couple that are just for like garment sewing.
yeah,
There's one in Michigan every September that does that. And then just recently in my area, I'm in the Chicago area, and last year, I think it's been here for a couple of years actually, but it's a stitch show. So that's geared more towards stitchers and knitting and crochet, like those types of arts. But
Hmm.
this year, I think they actually combined it with some quilting, which I thought was a good idea
Oh, yeah.
because it's a nice crossover hobby
Yeah.
that I think people are really starting to do more and more.
Hmm. Yeah, I also
Hmm.
think that's really inspiring. Like this craft show, the Creado, they even mix up all the booths because you could think that they would make an area for quilting and an area for crochet, and but they don't.
Uh-huh.
They don't do that. They especially mix everything up so that when you want to go to a specific company, then you come by all those other companies and crafts. So you get a lot of inspiration by just walking around. And I think
Yeah.
it's really nice that it's all mixed up because you often go home with some kits for crafts that you
Hmm.
don't even do or that you just want to try
Right.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, because if I saw your booth at a show, I would totally get one of those little crochet animal kits. And I haven't crocheted in years and years, but it just looks like so much fun, and it looks, uh, accessible. Like I could do it.
Hmm.
And I think that's smart of a show to do that. I hope that shows in the States here maybe might try that because I agree. I think you should mix it up
Yeah.
and you expose people to other types of arts and crafts that, like you
Hmm.
said, they would not normally have,
Yeah.
been have seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really what they are trying to
Mhm.
do there. And yeah, it
Mhm.
works. It's really fun.
Yeah. And then when you were walking around that show doing your vlog, I saw so many people with knitted and crocheted clothing
Yeah.
and scarves. And that's a little different too because you don't see as much as that here, at least in a very urban city
Uh-huh.
setting here.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
just thought it was really pretty. The more, I feel like there's more texture where you're at. And
it
yeah,
could be. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But in normal life, outside the craft fair, I also don't see knitted items or crocheted items so often.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, there it's like everyone who's going wants to bring something that they made, or
That they made.
yeah, it's very fun. Yeah, or bags that they've
Yeah.
sewn, or yeah. But no,
That's so true.
yeah,
Hmm.
but no,
They
in daily life here, normally, yes, some people do it,
okay.
but no, it's not everyone. Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't know that. So I thought, oh wow, they
Everyone.
all,
Yeah.
they all crochet and knit out there, and they
Yeah.
they wear these beautiful, textured scarves and everything. But
Yeah.
that's true. Here too, you will see people bringing all their bags that they made, and everybody knows, like, oh, is that a So Sweetness bag,
Uh-huh.
and or
Yeah.
this bag, swoon bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do the people do you does the Netherlands, do they pay attention to fabric designers as much as we do here? It seems like in the last like 5+ years, we've had like a lot of these high profile fabric designers that everyone absolutely loves and they follow, like Alison Glass and Tula Pink and
Yeah.
yeah, Tula Pink. Oh,
Yeah.
she's
Well,
yeah, she's wonderful.
yeah, she's awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the people who quilt, they know about fabric designers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that we have our own department of Dutch fabric designers. We do know then the international fabric designers. So we know Tula Pink and Amy Butler
Okay.
and yeah, just the normal ones that you also have. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but outside the quilting world, nobody really knows who they are or how that world works. So
Right, right.
yeah, and also
No, that's true.
the fabrics that we buy here, it's all Moda, Robert Kaufman. It's all everything that you have there also.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you
Yeah.
had, specific fabric companies there that produce, lines of fabric just for Europe or the Netherlands.
No, mostly we do just to have companies that import the fabrics.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
overseas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
What else? Oh my goodness. What do you use for your craft inspiration? Like what inspires you to
Oh,
just
that's
with your design
a good
and
question. Well, color-wise, I yeah, most of the inspiration comes from just looking at colors and then combining that with an idea I have. And it's actually difficult to explain that process. But I'm now starting to work on a quilt, and it has tiny trees and houses. And you can just paint a green tree and a normal house that you want. But if I then look at my yarn and all the rainbow colors, and then I get ideas like, what if I make trees in orange and pink and blue, and then try to combine that into a quilt. And then then a new design exists, because you combine some of my favorite colors with some normal shapes, or I don't really have a system of how I create new ideas. Inspiration just comes, and I always have I always have a sketchbook with me. So sometimes I can be on the train, and then I see a bridge in a nice shape, and then I draw something, and then later on I will use those shapes again. Or
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's interesting. I think everyone gets inspired differently, and it's just nice to hear like how other people do it. And I'm also amazed too, because you design your patterns and they're available in 3 formats, in Dutch and in English with the A4 paper format, but also in English with our American letter size. Yeah, true. Plus inches in American, like, you know, what we use, versus like you actually do that, like conversion to inches versus centimeters.
Yeah, it's because
is that hard?
Well, nah, for me, not really. I really love math, so
oh wow.
Yeah, but we're kind of in between, because in the Netherlands everything is in centimeters. So that's what we normally use with. But when you're a quilter, very soon you're also making stuff in inches, because that's what's available in patterns a lot. But yeah, so also in the Netherlands it's divided. So even when I make a pattern in Dutch, some people will ask for a pattern in centimeters, and someone will want to make it in inches. So I figured when I write a pattern, it would be very convenient to make it in centimeters and inches, because I live in the Netherlands. And then when you want to print it in the US, then it's handy to have it in the letter size.
It is. Yeah. It really is.
So I just...
that is so cool. And the same with your website, too, because there's... Well, when I first visited it a while ago, it has, like, you have the little Dutch flag and then a British flag for the languages, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, then I clicked that, but I still wasn't sure if I could, like, get any of your products, you know, for... inches, you know, like the imperial system that we use here. Yeah. But you do. I was like really amazed, and
maybe
so
that's good to put on there that it's that's in 2 systems.
Yeah, it is, because I actually had to look a little bit in one of your descriptions. You did say that the patterns are in inches and centimeters, so I think it was with your book. So I was like really happy to see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's really accessible to anybody around the world.
Yeah, because for you in the US you never work with centimeters, right?
Yeah, not really.
No.
And it's so funny because just north of us, I mean, I'm in Chicago, and Canada is literally like, you know, less than 10 hours away. And they're all on centimeters.
They are.
And they sell fabric by the meter. And I get the whole meter thing. I can totally, I love like ordering fabrics in meters, because you get extra inches.
Yes.
It's 39 inches instead of 36. But the centimeter thing, and I know it's supposed to be easier, like it's increments of 10. But I don't know, like I still can't convert like that centimeter to back to inches.
No, it's kind of complicated. But when I make patterns, I cheat a little bit, because they're not exactly the same size. because
Uh-huh.
2.54 centimeters, I think, is 1 inch.
Right. It's very odd.
Yeah,
Like it's off. It's not like a perfect
no,
number that
true.
converts to.
So
Okay.
that's where
Well, that
I
makes
cheat
sense.
a little bit, because when I have a block of 10 centimeters, that is
Uh-huh.
I translate that to 4 inches. So the
Okay.
size would be a little bit different, but no one is going to make a inch block and combine it with a block in centimeters, I think. So
Right. No, you're
so,
right.
so
Yeah,
that's no problem. So that
absolutely.
makes the translation really easy, because I just
Okay.
put it as 2.5 centimeters is 1 inch, and then it's really
Uh-huh.
easy to calculate.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
See, that's clever. That's very, see, that's even you do creative math, which is good. Because there's me like trying to get it exact conversion so it's
Mhm.
perfect, and that's not right.
Yeah,
Then it
no,
never gets done.
no, and then it gets wonky because it's too
Yeah,
hard to to
it
make
is. It's too
it.
hard, and then I say forget it.
Yeah.
But you round up. That's actually a good thing, or round down, whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. And I like that you did a collaboration on your book too with was it a friend of yours, or how did you
Yeah,
guys decide to collaborate?
yeah. I got to know her on a Etsy event. So she's also a Dutch designer and has a Etsy shop. So we organized an Etsy event together in the Netherlands, and yeah, there we met. And yeah, it was an idea from her, and she was going to organize a what's the name? Yeah, a tiny kind of show on a craft fair. She had a space which she could fill with projects to inspire people.
Okay.
And she
Yeah.
thought, well, when I'm going to make all those projects and put it on display, why not write a pattern collection of it and make it into a book? And
Hmm.
then she asked me, because I wrote a book before, and because it would be really nice to combine it with quilting. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, so then we made a collaboration out of it.
And did you self-publish that, or did you
Yeah,
go through a publisher?
yeah, it was my second book, and both books I self-published.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. And you can get it as a PDF download as well,
yeah,
or a printed
yeah,
book.
yeah, exactly. And the English printed books are now all sold out. So yeah,
Oh.
so only the
I'm gonna do the download. I almost did it last night, but then I still that I was searching for making sure this is in inches, or if I can do the centimeters.
yeah.
But
Well, that book,
but I
the
can.
the Once Upon a Pixel book, yeah, you can do it, but that one is in centimeters.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Um, Yeah, so it was self-published because I wanted to keep it for me easy to do, and I just wanted to do it on my own time schedule. And I also
Yeah.
like do the design of the book, so the layout and stuff, and the illustrations and graphics. I like to do that myself. So I thought, well, if I already do all of that, then I might not need a publisher. So
No, not at all. And I mean, one of your videos from when you first were releasing it, you flipped through it on your video, and it's so well done. It's beautiful. I can't believe you published that yourself. It's
mhm.
amazing. It's nice to have a partner like with your
Yeah.
friend too, that collaboration. And
Yeah.
it's so unique. I love that you can do either or with the cross stitch or the quilting
Yes.
in this pixel format,
Yeah.
which are just squares.
Yeah.
And they make these beautiful, that little frog
Yeah. And
pattern.
then
So
when
cute.
you're going to make a quilt pattern with all those squares, you should really check out the well, now I'm the double chain piecing method. That's the word. Double chain piecing
Okay.
method. Susie Quilts wrote about that. Do you know Susie
Oh,
Quilts?
yeah.
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 She's from Chicago.
I love her.
I know.
But she has a very cool method on double chain piecing, and that's perfect for making pixel quilts. So
Okay.
when you're going to do a project like that, you should really check that out.
Okay. I got to write that down so I can put a link
Yeah.
to double chain piecing, you said?
Yeah, I love it. I made all my pixel quilts in the book that way, and it's really fast, and you don't lose track of which square is going to go where.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because I mean that gets me sometimes with chain stitching. And
yeah.
I mean, if it's simple enough, I can do it. But if I start getting pieces turned around and then I have to rip them out, I'm
Hmm.
just like, I'm not going to chain stitch
No.
this one because it all gets turned around.
Yes.
But I'm going to check that out and I'm going to put that link in there.
Uh-huh.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, what are you working on anything new that you're going to be publishing upcoming, or what are you working on now?
Well, on crochet area, I just published the Polly the Chicken pattern.
Oh yeah.
That's my newest one, and I still have to finish some of the instruction videos because with that pattern, because it's a pretty advanced pattern, I made some video tutorials to go with it. So people who buy the
Great.
pattern, they get access to those videos. And
Nice.
on quilting wise, I'm working on a new quilt, like I said, with the trees and the houses. And
Okay.
I just got my fabric in for that quilt. So tonight I have a quilt bee, and then I'm going to start cutting into that.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
That is so great. And then you continue to do your YouTube videos, which
mhm.
is great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and I almost forgot, but I have also a paper piece ABC pattern, which just came back from all the testers. So I guess I'm going to publish that in the next 2 weeks or so.
ABC pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of
Pe-
people ask
That's
for that.
popular
Yeah.
here. Yeah. People love letters
Yeah, and you
in
can,
quilting here.
they are in two sizes, so a smaller and a bigger one, and you can easily turn them into bunting or something like that, or put a
Oh,
word on a bag, or yeah, they're really.
so cute. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, great.
Mhm.
Oh man, I know I did this with Stephanie Kendron at Modern Society. I don't know if you remember that podcast, but I'm like, I don't want to say goodbye yet.
Yes.
But we've pretty much talked about everything
Mhm.
that I mean, and I wrote down a ton of stuff. I mean, we got through all
But
of it.
yeah.
Really, the animal crochet. One quick question I did write down just for me. I wanted to know what thickness or type of yarn that you use for your crochet animals, because it seems like a
Oh,
smaller,
yeah,
tighter
it's
gauge.
pretty thin, but I'm not very familiar with the ply kind of size, because you use that 4 ply or 6 ply, right? Or is that
And I'm not, I don't even know that much about
no?
about the yarn. That's
That
why I was asking. I'm like, what type of yarn do I get? If I should just buy your kit.
yeah, that's a good way. But I use a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook,
Okay.
and the yarn for that is, yeah, it's suitable for a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, and it's 100% cotton yarn.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah. So,
100%
but
cotton.
I think it's finger weight yarn, I guess.
Okay.
Is that a size? And
It sounds familiar.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is perfect because that's another thing that kind of like, prevents me from starting something if I don't know like what size needle,
Mhm.
what type of yarn, so
Yeah.
that's perfect. I mean, that's enough to get someone started, and they can also just go on your website
Yeah.
and order kits from you
Yeah.
because you ship all over
I
the
ship
world. So
all
that's
over the world.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yay. And you know what too? You sell that tea bag paper, which I am going to order
Mhm.
because I've looked for it here in the States and
It's no.
I can't find the type you have. You have it where it's kind of like a large
Yeah.
format
It's 1 meter
size.
wide. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I have not been able to find that yet here,
no,
so I'm going to order from
I
you.
also don't have no idea what kind of brand it is. I just get it in a paper like it is, and
Uh-huh.
I think it's really from a tea bag factory or something. There's a lady in the Netherlands who ships it, and
Ah,
I've no clue who her supplier is, but it's not a quilting brand or anything. So it's really paper
right. No.
used for tea
Mm-hmm.
bags. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of knew that it wasn't a quilt brand, but so I did like a Google search on like, tea bag making papers, and they have like these rolls, but they're little rolls. They're like 4 by 6.
Oh yeah.
And it's rolls of it, which I guess you could use for smaller things, but I was like, no, I want the bigger size like Irene has.
Yeah. So
okay, that's good.
What's your next project going to be? You have all this inspiration going on now.
I know, I do. Well, I think sometime this winter, probably after the holidays, I'm going to try the little crochet penguin or one of those little simple animals. But like of your projects, I want to get those penguins.
Cute.
I think they're so cute, and I want to do the little hand stitching. I want to do a little blanket over where he's sleeping.
Yeah.
It's so cute. So I'm going to start with that. But then again, I'm also going to download that Pixel book. So I know that's me. I want to do it all.
Lots to choose from.
I want to do it all at once.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that Pixel book is going to be good. Do you think that a 10-year-old could handle a Pixel quilt? Like that unicorn one?
Yeah.
To me, it seems simple enough that
if they can stitch blocks together, then they can definitely handle it. Because they don't have to do chain piecing. They can just sew 2 blocks together and then put it back on a design board or something and then pick the next ones. And they should really be able to do it.
My niece is 10 years old, Ava, and she has been sewing with me. I've been teaching her to sew since she was like 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
And she loves it. She's got her own little sewing machine, and she'll come. She lives out of state now, so she used to live closer, but she'll still come for a weekend, and we'll, work on a new project. And she's come so far, and then she loves her little free sew time where, she likes to learn, so we'll have something that she'll learn new. Like last time, she learned how to put a zipper in a little bag.
Oh wow! Really advanced already.
Yeah, well, it was a real simple cork fabric, so there was no lining or anything. It was just straight sewing around a zipper.
Oh,
and she loved it because it's so impressive. It's like, hey, I made a little zipper pouch.
Yes.
Yeah. So she loves that, but then she also likes to just like go on her own and do her own little creative, which I think is good for little kids to just have their own time.
Yes.
To just try sewing this or try sewing that stitch. But yeah, I think she would really like that that unicorn
that would
quilt.
Be so good.
Yeah.
That with her. Sounds
good. Yeah. All right. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time. I mean, we have a 7-hour difference, so it's kind of nighttime or getting to be nighttime by you.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. You have been so nice and kind, and I'm so glad that you came onto my show.
Thank you so much for asking and for having me.
Yes,
it was a lot of fun talking to you.
It was, and I'm going to, kind of be like your little marketing on the American side.
Sounds awesome.
Because I love your designs. I love your patterns and your YouTube channel. So I'm going to encourage everyone to go visit you, and I'd love to have you on again too. So if you release something new, let me know, and I'm going to be watching you. So
awesome. Yes, I'm going to let you know, and would love to talk to you again.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay.
Have a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you so much. You as well.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, that was Irene from Sugaridoo, and I hope you think she was as awesome as I did. I just loved chatting with her, and I love her YouTube channel, her patterns. So take a look at my show notes, and to get all of her information, visit her website. If you want to be a pattern tester for her with crochet or quilting, on her website there's a contact form, and you can just let her know. So I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.